call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Meister. Savage.
Here.
Brochus.
Here.
Warner.
Here.
Martina. Here.
Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Please state your name, sir.
Concerning the bids on Cottage Street, I think the proposed contract should be, the residents should be allowed to see that before you even think of voting on it. You preach open transparency. If we don't know what's in that contract, it's not being very transparent.
Sure, there is no contract yet, sir, that's the problem. We don't do a contract until we have a bid accepted. Then we'll do a contract. We have specs, but that's not a contract. The contract is between the city and whoever wins the bid.
And then I'd like to see the specs.
And you can certainly see the specs, that's not a problem.
There's things going on. These contracts, GNR Charlotte particularly, they're walking away with money because they get the salvage. The salvage is not theirs. The salvage belongs to the city. So the city should be getting that money and put it back into the project.
Well, let me ask one question, Derek, if we have the specs for that.
I do, you can do them in my shop anytime, I'll sit down and show you. Anytime you want. And I don't know what salvage you're talking about that you think, you know, Charles to get it. You get nothing.
Well, what happened to the salvage? Well,
What do you mean the
stuff
salvage?
like that.
What do you mean salvage?
Piping, that's the main stuff.
There's nothing in there that they take that, I mean, it's old terracotta pipe. It's garbage.
Yeah, you can get money for it.
No, they don't get a penny, sir. I was a contractor for 30 years. You don't get a
I
penny.
don't believe that. That's why they did one.
Well, regardless, we're not going to argue who gets what. So Al, we'll get you those specs. Stop down with Steve, or give us a place we can send them. We can do that also. Okay? Does that work out? Okay. Anything else, Al? Any other public comment at this time? All right, moving on. So I make a motion for approval of the minutes and reports. Minutes from May 12th and 26 meetings, and the report of the fire department, police department, treasurer, code office, controller, health department, parks and rec, and planning commission. Do I have a second?
Meister. Savage.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Martina.
Moving on, old business, Councilman Barnhart.
Make a motion to amend the property maintenance ordinance, 130-1, and adopt the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition.
I'll second.
Martina. Meister. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Moving on, new business, Councilman Barnhart.
Make a motion to hire Mark Culp, he's a college kid, just summer work only, part-time, just a few hours a week.
And that's in your budget,
That's
correct?
in my budget.
John, what's the amount?
I would,
You mean it's dollar per hour?
15.
Any other questions, anyone? All right, I'll second.
Meister. Savage.
Yes.
Martina. Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Moving on, Councilman Ister.
I also have a gentleman, Tommy Trio, from somewhere else,
I'll second. Well,
Savage.
yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina. Brochus.
Yes.
Meister.
Keep moving on, Councilman Ister.
Yes, resignation of Thomas workforce, she's decided to maintain position.
I shall second the motion.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina. Yes. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Meister.
Councilwoman Martina.
Pardon?
Do you want to give him consent?
Yeah, this Arlie grant, we're going for the Third Street signals, the last of our signals that are extremely old. We recently just had to rewire quite a bit of it. It was not working with the train. When the train would come through, it wouldn't work. The wires just wore out. So we had to re-pull all the wires through on it, but it's an aging light. We'd like to go for a grant for this, and we also want to add additional pedestrian and handicap crossings there to make it much more accessible as well as the crossing.
And battery backups.
And then battery backups and generators so that when we lose power, I don't lose all my signals. I have several of our signals that were done years ago that do not have the battery backup as we do on a lot of our newer signals.
And just for everybody's information on council, what Steve was talking about as far as that light not working when the train goes by, the light was still green as the train was going by.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, hopefully they were watching the river.
I got a fire truck for that, yes. Yeah, we got it fixed, like I said, it was just that the wires were just faulty, and they just aged. And it's a very old light, so that's why we want to go for this grant. That's the next light we need.
Questions, anyone?
I'm gonna make a motion to do the other grant for Trish.
Second.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Keep going, Councilman
And
Martina.
I just would like to vote to advertise for bids for outstream and road construction projects.
Questions, anyone? I shall second.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Martina. Yes.
Councilman Savage.
So I will, sorry. I received a letter, so it says, "To my concern with the heavy garden, turning in my resignation to tax collector and city treasurer, because of some issues, my resignation will take effect June 30th, 2025. It was my pleasure to serve in this office for the past 11.5 years. This is signed by Treasurer Kevin Troop, so I will make a motion that we formally accept the resignation of Treasurer Kevin Troop effective 6/30/25.
Did you say what the issues were?
Personal.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina. Yes. Ister. Savage.
And with that being said, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, at this point, do we need to advertise or say here, accepting letters of interest to fill the remaining of his term, which is the end of this year,
I would do
for
both.
treasurer?
I would advertise it.
Then, do I need to make a motion to do that, or can we just do it?
No, we
That's
can
fine.
just do it.
Okay, so we'll put that out there, we'll put that on our social media site. That's a requirement. Yeah. All right, keep going, Councilman Savage.
So
You're right.
I will make a motion for the approval to transfer, it says the agenda reflects 180,000, but there's an amended number, so it is lessened, so I'm gonna make an approval to, a motion to approve a transfer of $123,167.78 from commercial loans to private grants. And this amount just to cover, the city hall renovations.
Well, I just have one question. No, I have no problem with it. So is that, with the 123 and some change, so does that cover everything that needs to continue to be done, or is that just as of today?
As of, the bills we have today.
Okay.
There is money coming in, we're still waiting for, sale.
The different ones, okay. I just don't have to come back, you know, a month from now, say we gotta do it all over again. Depending, no, understand.
Martina. Yes. Barnhart.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes,
Savage.
Yes.
Ister.
keep going, Councilman Savage.
And I will also make an approval, a motion for the approval of the abstracts and vouchers for the general fund in the amount of $86,484.02, and payroll in the amount of $75,961.46.
I shall second.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and private grants in the amount of $123,167.78 as reflected in the last motion.
Second.
Martina. Yes. Barnhart.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. Moving on to discussion items, Ms. Cracker, multimodal grant.
Just so everybody's aware, DCD multimodal grant is coming up and opening in the next month and a half. So I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. It's a streetscape grant. So I just wanted to bring it up. We've gone for it numerous times over the years, but I just wanted to bring it up to everybody and start thinking about some
I know in the past, talking about that, about the streetscape, so can that apply to Market Street? I know we voted previously to take that money and put it somewhere else, so is that, would that work for finishing up Market Street on the south side? That needs to be done yet, up on the hill section,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
streetscape?
yeah.
Okay, and,
It applies for any streetscape in the city.
okay, and
We
how,
already have one in, we're going up to 11.
yeah,
So you're talking about below that?
yeah,
Yeah,
We're just looking to go from 11 down to Zimmerman's to section
Yeah, yeah.
13.
correct,
Down to that area is the remaining portion that we have to do.
yeah,
But also multimodal, we've been putting that in also as well, the streetscape, trying to do Arch Street, going up towards railroad tracks and
Yeah.
stuff there by the police station and stuff. That's when we've also had iron priorities.
yeah.
So, yeah.
How much can we apply for?
It is,
What we've applied for in the past, I guess.
we've applied for, the most that we've ever received was about $1 million. I would not expect that. I would, if we were going to be awarded anything, it would be significantly less. I wouldn't do anything more as far as, if that's the only funding going to the project, I would say half.
If we can get it done for $500,000, at least one of the projects for $500,000.
But here again, back to the 13th section, we had the funding at one time, but then nothing holding that.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a disaster. They've been holding that up with historical areas and requiring some changes. We've been working through that, what, a year and a half?
Also longer than that.
Yeah.
It's been
So
over 2 years.
did they see a light at the end of the tunnel for that, or?
They claim between the 10th and 11th, that's the phases that they're holding things up.
Yeah,
They claim they're getting close.
It's in right away.
And the historical part is that the stone work on the person going through there.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it is, they're claiming.
I understand.
So, yes,
Well, why can't we just skip that block and do the, from there down, and come back and finish that block at a later date?
they took all the money clear over because they did not change the design and so forth, ran the cost up to $250 million. So they did tell us that when this is done, we'll get us the funding for the finish, but we had that at the time.
Yeah.
So it's waiting for PennDOT on the side.
Any other questions on multimodal? All right, moving on, Councilman Barnhart.
I was talking to Jackie Hart at EIC, and she's gonna be training the code officers until, didn't sign a contract yet. Wanted all the council to go to contract, trying to move some money around, so they are gonna be receiving more training.
No? Anyone else, any comments on that? All right, moving on, Councilman Leister.
Yes, Joel, I'm talking, Joel, remember we discussed it on the fire side, that there was a fire fee, the city had a right to hold like 25%. Now, I don't know.
These are supposed to go on.
Insurance.
Insurance, yes. Now, the situation was, if we're just from the fire, we're going to be looking into if a storm and gas explosion or something like that, what all we're allowed to take in fees for insurance money. Also, I think we should sit down, long-term for disasters and so forth, this type of policy. I know Steve has a list for storm removal emergency list, that we should have emergency list for vendors, contractors, and so forth. And something like this happens, we call it 6 up and say, here, here's the situation, come give us a bid. That's my suggestion.
So that,
I'm sorry.
so that actually should be part of the
Back to the city side about getting money from the insurance, I mean, something in-house with the tools report.
Well, I think that's, for emergency. First, our chief does have a lot of power to do some things. We've talked about doing that.
Would council be all right if the chief and I kind of lead that EMA plan, get the ball rolling back again? Would everybody be okay with that? We, get the conversation going, get those, what you said, Spank and Councilman Nicer about getting, as you said, whatever contractors for A, B, C happens, we get those meetings rolling again? All right.
Yes. We need to have another meeting, we had the one.
Yeah.
At the riverfront, and we're gonna have another one, and we start this off at that. kind of all filled.
And then we well, we do technically on the books, but they're not very engaged, so.
Who is it?
Well, it was Paul Brown, then he made, oh no, it was, and then it was Tony Paul. Both have been MIA, so I think,
No.
I mean, is this a letter?
I don't think it's official from the state.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah, so regardless, we need to go back and,
We need to get somebody that wants to do it.
yeah, we can get back and revisit it, and I said, if you don't mind, the chief and I, we can get it heading once again, so we can schedule a meeting with the people who need to be in the initial meeting to get policies, procedures up to date. That way, if something, as Councilman Leister says, happens or whatever scenario, we have a game plan ready to go.
And there is somebody interested.
Good. We can get those, like I said, when we get that to that point, we could, get the names, letters of interest, and we can go from there. Does that work for everybody? All right. And moving on to City Hall camera. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were finished.
Back to Andre,
Yeah.
we were talking the other day, the folks that live in that corner home. Is that the list they were?
No, they're getting me the list.
You're getting the list,
They're
okay.
still putting it together.
Andre and I talked the other day, and the folks have some questions. I said, well, I'll put it together, he's gonna take it into us, see what we can do for them. Now, it's not like we're going to fix their home or anything like that, but I'm not sure what the concerns. How do we see it?
We're still working on it. And we also want to know why those people in their house. I heard the code officer at their house, talking about fixing part of that.
We can't. I mean, I guess we don't really know about all the details right now. I mean, we could find out later on, but like I said, without having the iWorks in front of us this evening, I couldn't find it right now. We can find out for you.
Yeah. Cheryl, do you know what's going on there? That
I
house,
didn't hear the question.
that the house where they were working on cars?
Oh, it's up at the corner of Julian and Susquehanna.
Yeah.
We received a couple of complaints from neighbors about them working on the cars on the street, which there's a ordinance prohibited of.
There's a big lot out back now.
Well, there's.
Mickey, come on.
Come
All right.
on, what?
All
I
right.
spent a lot of time with that family as well, which I'll speak of later, so.
All right. Anything else on that one, Councilman Ister? All right, so the chief and I will get that together with the EMA plan, we'll meet with the fire chief to get the ball rolling. All right, and the City Hall cameras, Councilman Treasurer Troop had it, but then he took it off of the agenda. So, moving on to announcements, Degenstein Library will be hosting a talent show in Central Park on June 13th from 5 to 7. Reis of State Farm is hosting a Market Street Mixer in Cameron Park on June 21st, starting at 5 p.m. And the next council meeting will take place here, June 23rd at 6:15. Any other announcements, anyone, of council, officials? All right, at this time, is there any public comment at this time? I'll start in the front, work my way back. Please state your name.
Victoria Rosenkrantz. First question is, music in the park was canceled. Why?
If I'm wrong, was because of lack of funding at this time.
Lack of funding at this time. Is that because grants are not being completed properly and then we're not getting grants, just like happened to me?
That was original, when we put in for it back, when we put in for that early in the year, so we have it coming into May, in the summer months. I mean, we haven't put in for it recently, but that was the reason at the time.
Because you're saying.
Oh, yes.
because-
Yeah, because the grants,
Are getting
I forget the
completed
paperwork at
properly.
the end, I forget the proper term, was not getting filled out properly.
Okay. So with that said, I got a lot of phone calls about it, and I actually have, the city wants to work with me on this. A business owner has stepped forward to help fund music in the park, as well as Save Sunbury and Fund Beyond. Now, I bring it back to council to say, is it something you want to work with us on or not?
The music
For
in
the
the,
citizens, yes.
yeah, we'll do what we can to help to make it happen, to raise the
Okay,
funds to get it.
so let me ask you this, because if it's Citizen Victoria coming forward and a business owner, then you're gonna say we have to buy insurance to do that. and that's costly.
Well, if,
So what I would like to suggest is that it's an umbrella of the city being involved with it as well, or Light Fest or whatever, so that way we don't need to pay insurance at $400 a pop. It's not very economically responsible.
Well, that's easy, Joel. Money's donated to the city, we hire bands, and they're under our own umbrella, like we do in the past.
Honestly, he took the words out of my mouth. I mean, that's almost what we have to do because of our insurance coverage. We can't insure something that isn't paid for by us, I doubt. I'm not Mr. Purdy, so I'm not saying that on his behalf, but I'm like 90% sure that we could not get a event insured that we're not paying. Does that make sense?
So what you're saying is that the money's need to be donated to the treasurer's office, to be tagged for music in the park, the city will pay for it, and then work on it.
Exactly.
And I will come in and we'll work on dates.
Yes.
Sounds good? We're looking at hopefully 2 a month. That depends on performers, because there's a lot of performers that aren't happy, and I've seen the social media posts, so I'm trying to fix that. So thank you for willing to do that. The citizens appreciate that as well. My next question is, since September 27th of 2021, that's when the first RC track discussion occurred. 10/25/21, Riker, Mr. Past Councilman Riker made a motion to allow access to use the land on the OPG baseball field. On February 20th, 2023, remember it was just discussed the RC track and it's still in process, and the city council is working hard to get prep and kinks worked out. More information soon. For 23, stop there. I've asked 11 times since 10/25/21 what was happening with the project. Where are we on it? Now, last time I came and asked this question, Mr. Backer and Mr. Eister told me that the owner moved to South Carolina. Is that the case? That wanted to do the RC track?
Yes, he did move to South Carolina.
So who was that? What business was that?
The Sports Zone comic and Sports Zone Comics, that's what I call it.
He moved? Mr. Valley moved? How comes I just talked to him and his shop is still open?
Well, because he opened a second one down in North Carolina. He operates both.
Okay, so it brings me back to my original question, this must have been a lot of things.
Where's
Anyway.
the question on that?
My question is back to 2021 when the RC discussion, and this gentleman came forward to do this, which would bring tourism and people into our city, and here we are all these years later. Brings me back to my original question about grants not being followed through, and then other committees are getting nailed because things are not being taken care of properly. So I'll turn that. 11 times I've asked since 2021. Kids were being worked up. Just asking.
That project isn't holding any of your applications up, I guarantee you that.
Okay, well, that's still, okay, that's fine. I'm still asking for 3 years. We've been asking for this project, and that money came from Degenstein.
$4,000 still sits there, they know about it, we've discussed it. That's
Okay,
number one.
I'm
Number
still
two,
asking where were the kinks?
the kinks are interest. So far, I had 2 gentlemen come forward, the one that they can help, 2.
But you had a business owner and you didn't do anything with it. Okay, well,
Okay.
I hope it comes, well, this is what our citizens talk about. You know, the money came in, a business owner wanted something done, and now here we are 3 years later. Well, I'm allowed to ask these questions.
Sure.
My time's almost up, I'm sure. So let me go back to, I'm just really baffled by the fact that we have no city treasurer as of tonight. And I spoke to the city treasurer, and he claimed, Mr. Barnhart, your question was why did he resign, and it was health issues. So I have a real concern that we voted to have no city treasurer as of tonight, and 7 months left.
I'm not sure what the issue is with that.
But with due respect, we voted to accept his resignation, effective on 6/30.
And we have people in the treasurer's office that'll fill in until then.
So 7 months to bring somebody in to.
I don't know if it'll take, who knows if it'll take 7 months. Council can appoint somebody for next meeting if you.
No, I think that's
I'm
what
sure
she,
they will. I'm
I
sure
think that's what
they
she's
will.
referring to, 7 months to fill.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, well,
Isn't he allowed to resign?
I'll see you in a comment.
Thank you.
Open out something.
Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, ma'am.
And I was here the Monday, April 28th, night before we had that nasty thunderstorm that brought a tree down in front of my house. I did speak with Lisa prior because whoever came up and trimmed the tree literally cut it to get it off the neighbor's car, threw it literally right on the other side of the street, gone. There's still branches laying on front of in the neighbor's yard, in the neighbor's front yard. I used to go over on the other side of that guardrail with my equipment and weed whack and mow to keep it looking nice, you know? Doing my share, doing what I can. I can't do that now because things are so overgrown. And that tree is still, if this would have happened on Market Street, it would have been cleaned up a lot nicer and a lot quicker. So my question is, why? Like,
What's your address?
430 North 8th Street.
431
430.
North 8th?
Yeah, and Steve, she did share like the picture of who the contractor was that took the tree down, it wasn't us, so.
Well, I'm just saying, is there anything we can do to help? That's what I'm saying. Is there something, the part we can do to help you out if you've been bummed out by a contractor?
Well,
Or something
somebody to
city-
come up and clean it up better than what it was. I mean, if, like I said, if that was any other street, it would have been cleaned up a lot nicer. And again, I know it wasn't the city, but
Tell you
still,
what,
there
just
should be some.
call down to my office or something, we'll set up a time, me and you can meet, we'll take a look at it, see what we can work out.
Okay, yeah. And second, I know I came here a couple times back in April, but I complained about the quote-unquote possible nuisance property I live next to. And I was told that there would be a blight nuisance committee meeting. Well, here we are in June. I just spoke with Shirley yesterday and she informed me that there still has been no meeting. I'm still dealing with crap next door. There's still not adequate garbage cans per Sunbury code. They now use the back of their truck as a giant garbage can. And I can't even go outside of my backyard because I'm not gonna say out loud in front of everyone here what the neighbors scream and say to me. I would like to speak with the chief after this, if I can. The cursing, the language, I'm being harassed, and it needs to stop. I should not be threatened walking out in my yard to water my plants.
Chief, you get the third one. Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, ma'am.
Randy Buhner. I just want to ask about the work sessions. I thought there would be a work session, and are you going to continue to have work sessions or not?
So what we did, we advertised them in the beginning of the year because it's cheaper to do it all one shot than advertise it every time we do it.
Right.
So if we have something that we do need to discuss, we will continue to have the work session at the beginning of every month. But if we don't have any topics that needing to be discussed, then we'll just cancel it if there's nothing that needs to be discussed or determined at that time.
Okay, I thought that the agenda items would be discussed at that time.
I mean, like I said, some of the time, some of the agenda items sometimes will be discussed there, sometimes they won't be because, like, for example, like the international building code, like that was the second reading of it, so like, so sometimes they will, sometimes they won't.
Okay.
Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, sir.
Jim Brumbaugh, it's the issue with an alley, but I think it's been 95%.
Almost resolved.
Yes. I want to thank everybody for being patient with it.
Good things take time, right, Jim?
Just be patient with us, we're working on it. Promise you, we're working on it.
Jim had a couple of kinks.
Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment? All right, I adjourn this meeting.
Same.